I will be the first to admit that I can be pretty type A. I used to lose sleep frequently over clients that were not taking my advice or that were pushing back when I told them we needed to spend more time on fundamentals, or that went out and bought a horse that I thought was not a good fit for them. And I would often make choices that I now am less than proud of, where I would try to call them out, or even sometimes I would tell them that if they went through with a purchase of a horse that I wouldn't be able to work with them anymore. And what I really learned from horses about this dynamic is that real leadership is quiet, and that partnership is built on trust and respect and not on hierarchy. Hi, I'm Ruby. I'm a whole horsemanship trainer, and I'm on a mission to help you and your horse to enjoy more of each other by building a deeper bond and better relationship based on whole horsemanship principles and groundwork, and to help you to find more meaning in the slog of the day-to-day, because that is often where we find ourselves. One night when I was laying awake in bed, and I was, I have better things to do than lay awake in bed at night, namely sleeping. And I was really thinking about a particular client that I really felt was on a bad path and was not hearing me when I was trying to give her feedback or advice about the path that I thought she should be on. I just had this realization that that wasn't my job. My job wasn't to teach her that lesson, that the horses would teach her that. And it was really just my job to guide and facilitate and keep her safe, and to help interpret some of those lessons that the horses were teaching her, and that she was going to learn those lessons one way or another, and I didn't have to take that on. And from then on, I've really had a really different approach that is a lot more like the way that I work with horses, which is a very quiet, confident form of leadership and training, instead of one based in force and dominance and fear. And I just think this is such a valuable lesson that horses have taught me about how to be in relationship with other humans. So whether you're working with a spicy horse or a challenging family member this holiday season, I think the message is really the same, that the more we try to force, the more we are met with resistance. And if we can instead just try to embody what it is that we are trying to cultivate in the other person or horse, then that is a much, much more effective means of leadership and partnership. So here's a few really interesting ways to make sure that you're doing that. The first is to remember your relationship bank account. I have a whole video about that here, but for the purpose of this video, I'll just kind of briefly dip into the idea, which is that your relationship with anybody, we'll use your horse for right now, but we can insert, friend, sister, mother-in-law, whatever, grandmother, it doesn't matter. Your relationship with this person or horse is like a bank account. And every time you do something that benefits the relationship or creates more trust and more respect and more kind of closeness between you, you're making a deposit into this bank account. And every time you do something that either damages this relationship, or that you have to kind of ask the other person to come your way and compromise your way, you're removing from that bank account. And the idea is to make sure that you're always giving more than you take, so that bank account grows full and healthy and robust. And especially in times where we're under a lot of stress or life can feel really chaotic and unorganized, it's really, really helpful to have a full bank account, so that when we need to make those big withdrawals, we need to ask our horse to trust us, or to come our way on something, or to work through something that's hard for them, or we need to ask a family member to compromise on who's bringing the turkey for Thanksgiving. I don't know. That we have that kind of emotional capital in there to lean on. The second thing is to remember to watch or listen to understand, not to respond. So I did a whole video about this actually just last week, but the idea is, instead of just like love bombing and just like loving unconditionally, what's actually more meaningful is to feel like you are seen and like you are understood. And so when we are working with our horses or our relatives, when we're really watching or listening for understanding and for empathy, and starting from this place of what is it that you need and how can I help you get there, that is so much more profound than just unconditionally loving someone no matter what. And then the third thing is to really try to stay present. So this is also something I made a video about last week that is really, really helpful. But definitely just practicing not getting caught up in the what if this happens down the road, or if you do this, then I will do that, or the ultimatums, or the threats, or the force, or the, remember when you did this 6 months ago, or, trying to stay out of that place and just really focus on the task in front of you right now and stay present with what is true and what's happening and alive in this moment, instead of kind of letting your mind wander to these kind of anxious places of the future and the past. All of these skills are actually things that are going to be coming up in this little mini challenge that I'm working on right now. I'm super excited about it, and I think it's going to really help a lot of us horse people to stay present and calm and grounded through the holiday season. And I think it's also going to be a really, really great gift to yourself for the holiday season. I highly recommend checking it out. It's going to be available the day after Thanksgiving, sort of Black Friday, I guess. So definitely check for that. And in the meantime, if you fill out the little form in the description below, I will make sure to let you know when it's ready and keep you in mind as I'm building it. Maybe I'll see you over there, and until next time, make sure to hug your horse for me.